Hey guys, it's Scott here and welcome to match week 1 of the UCL. The Champions League is back and we're going to be doing our predictions for the first match week. So if you do enjoy this and you want to see more, make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and let's jump right into it. We've got 16 games to predict. First up is Sevilla versus Red Bull Salzburg. Obviously the Austrian team coming into the Spanish realm yet again. We know that Sevilla can do really well in European competitions, but Salzburg are not one team to take lightly. However, I do think the home advantage is going to be too much. Sevilla to win 2-1. Next up, we've got Young Boys up against Manchester United. This should be, with Ronaldo definitely travelling, a very easy game for United with the form that they're in, the confidence that they have. So I'm going to predict them to win away from home 3-0. Now, probably the biggest tie of the Tuesday night, Barcelona against Bayern Munich. Now, obviously, with no Messi, a lot of changes in the Barcelona camp, it's got to be said. A couple of changes in the Bayern Munich one as well, including the manager and a couple of other signings. This could be huge. The 8-2 of Bayern v Barca previously is going to be in everybody's heads when it goes into this one. Do I have that much confidence even though I'm a Barca fan? Not really. However, there's been some positives to take so far from the start of the season, but I think Bayern is still going to be that little bit too good. But I think it'll be a close one today. We'll go with 3-2 Bayern Munich. Then we've got the visit of the Russian team Zenit coming to Stamford Bridge. Chelsea starting off the season very well, getting the joint most amount of points so far this season in the Premier League. Lukaku being an absolute monster so far to kick off the season. I feel like they're going to be too much, especially at home. Maybe if they were travelling to Russia, it'd be a bit different, but I think this will be a very simple game for Chelsea. I think they're going to win 2-0 today. Moving on to the fifth game, we've got Dynamo Kyiv against Benfica. Interesting tie, this one. Pretty difficult to call. Benfica, again, away from home, having that disadvantage is probably going to be very difficult for them. It's a bit different to last season where the European games didn't have fans in, and so the home and away differences in the groups and everything didn't really matter as much, whereas it should do this season. So I think this is going to be a tough one, and I'm actually going to go with the draw in this one of 1-1. Next up, the Ligue 1 champions, despite the fact they've lost their manager and a couple of their players. But it is still Lille against Wolfsburg, who are doing okay so far. Interesting fixture in a tricky group for the both of them, this one. It's a very tough one. So it's a hard game to call this, but I think the home advantage, the confidence of Lille being in that Champions League after winning the league, despite losing a few bits and bobs from the club, I think it's going to be enough to carry them through. 2-1 win to Lille. Next up, we've got Malmo against Juventus. Obviously, after losing out on Cristiano Ronaldo, having a poor start to the season so far. Yes, we're only a couple of games in, but the impact looks like it is already taking its toll as it stands. They may win the remaining 35 games and win the league, but it's fine. I still think they're going to be too much for Malmo right here. The Swedes, yeah, they're an okay team in European competition, but the Champions League group stage against Juventus is a little bit too high for them. I think Juve will win this one, but just about 1-0. And then the last of the Tuesday games is Villarreal, obviously Champions League entrance this season due to winning the Europa League over Manchester United with a dramatic finale up against Atalanta, the goal-scoring machines themselves. Now, this is tricky. Emery, obviously famed for what he does in European competitions, but mainly the Europa League rather than Champions League. But that should instill a bit of confidence in them. I think that they'll do okay today. I think it'll be a close game, lots of goals, 3-2 Villarreal. We then move on to Besiktas versus Borussia Dortmund. Haaland. That's all that needs to be said. Is he going to absolutely smash it in the Champions League like he did last year? Probably. I mean, he started the season very well. For club and country, he's absolutely smashing it. He's just incredible, isn't he? He's just an absolutely outrageous talent. This should, in theory, be easy purely because they have Haaland. So I'm going to go with a 3-0 win for Dortmund. Next, we've got the absolute legends that are Sheriff up against Shakhtar Donetsk. Now, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and lie to your faces and say that I know that much about Sheriff, but I do know how they got into the competition, and it doesn't therefore instill an absolute ton of confidence for what they're going to be up against in their group. it should be the case that they realistically will probably lose every game, but maybe, just maybe, they'll have that crazy spirit of qualifying it for the first time, and somehow that'll carry them to get a couple of points, but I think it's too much. Shakhtar will win this one 2-0. Atletico v Porto is up next. Obviously, Madrid winning the league last season, doing very, very well there, and have now reclaimed Antoine Griezmann, and they have also signed Rodrigo de Paul as well, who is an absolutely fantastic player. Porto, they surprised last season. They were very, very impressive to watch, and they had some really good results. I think that Atletico, though, at the Metropolitano, they're too good. I think they'll win this one in their standard style, 1-0. Bruges against PSG. Messi's debut in the Champions League for PSG could be up against Bruges. Probably not what they were hoping for when they saw the fixtures that they were going to get, but I mean, sure, it's PSG. PSG are going to be one of the favourites, if not the favourites, for the Champions League this season. They should wipe the floor with teams like Bruges, with the squad that they have. It's absolutely outrageous. Let's go for a big scoreline, 4-0 PSG. Then we have a big, big fixture on the Wednesday night. We've got Inter Milan versus Real Madrid. Obviously, Inter Milan lost out on Conte, they lost Hakimi, and they lost the giants that is Romelu Lukaku from their forward line, which is a massive loss for them. Real Madrid, on the other hand, lost Ramos, which was the big, big thing. Losing your captain, obviously. Such a just constant figure in the Champions League for them. But they have signed now Camavinga, who scored on his debut the other day. This is going to be a really interesting game. I think Real Madrid will come out on top 2-1. An absolutely classic fixture up next in Liverpool versus AC Milan. We know all of the history with this fixture. Obviously, the squad's not quite at the levels that they were back in the day, especially on the Milan side of things, but they're doing okay. Ibrahimovic did come on and get a goal after his return from injury, to then get injured again, so he probably won't be playing in this game. But Liverpool, they've got a couple of injuries right now, including Bobby Firmino, so Jota's most likely going to be leading the line with Salah and Mane either side. I feel like this has to be a Liverpool win at Anfield. The atmosphere at Anfield in the Champions League is just on another level to what it is in the Premier League, so I think that will carry them through. I think they'll win this one 3-0. Man City on the hunt for that first Champions League after losing out to Chelsea in the final last season, are up against Leipzig, I never know how to pronounce it, in their first game. And this is where you put your marker down. You make a statement by saying, this season we're not here to mess around. So I think City are going to go big in this game, and they're going to win it comfortably with a clean sheet. A 3-0 is my prediction. And then the last game in the fixture list for the Wednesday is Sporting up against Ajax. Sporting obviously managing to win the title last season, which was huge, up against Ajax, who are either an absolute flop or incredibly entertaining in the Champions League. There's never in between. That run that they had a couple of years ago, everyone was rooting for them. It was incredible. So, which Ajax are we going to get this year? That's the question. They've got people like Seb Haller up front, who's just struggling even in that league. And so I feel like this is a really tricky one to call, so I'm going to go straight down the middle with a draw, but a high-scoring one of 2-2. So those are my predictions. What do you guys think to what I have said, and who do you think, this is the big question today, is going to be the surprise? Who's going to get that big win that no one saw coming? Let me know your comments down below. If you do enjoy this, you want to see this kind of thing each time there's a Champions League week on, make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow for a Leicester v Napoli Europa League preview. Make sure you tune into that one. But other than that, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the Champions League. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.